Titans Season 1 was solid. Over the course of the season, several people came together to form the Titans, or to reform the Titans. The season ended with a dark cliffhanger. First, let's review their backstories and the formation of the team in Season 1. Rachel Roth, the Raven, is the daughter of Angela Azarath and the demon Trigon. She was raised by her mother's friend, Melissa Roth, who tried to protect her. Unfortunately, she was killed, so Rachel fled to Detroit, where she was arrested and ran into Dick Grayson, the boy from her dreams. Dick Grayson is Robin, or was Robin. But Dick felt that he was becoming too much like Batman as he began to enjoy hurting people, lusting for vengeance. So he left Batman and moved to Detroit and joined the force there. Dick and Rachel were both orphans, and Dick and Rachel both feared their inner darkness. So Dick took her under his wing, and not knowing what else to do with her, he brought Rachel to his friends, Hank Hall and Dawn Granger, or Hawk and Dove. But unfortunately, the nuclear family showed up, threw Dick and Dove off the building, knocked out Hawk, and kidnapped Rachel. But not for long. Corianders, or Coriander, aka Starfire, showed up, killed Nuclear Dad, and drove off with Rachel. Cori was interesting. In truth, she is an alien from a planet called Tamaran. She was sent to Earth to kill Rachel because, according to prophecy, Rachel is the destroyer of worlds. It's more detailed than that, though. Trigon was imprisoned, and Rachel was the gateway by which Trigon would return, destroy Earth, and then destroy other planets such as Tamaran. So Cori was sent to Earth to kill Rachel, but Cori woke up from a car accident and forgot who she was and what she was doing. All that she could remember was that she needed to find Rachel. So she did, and over time, she came to love Rachel, almost like a daughter. And it's worth noting that because Cori had forgotten her past, she had a power which she didn't understand. So Rachel had a darkness inside her that she feared, which paralleled Dick, and a power inside her which she didn't understand, which paralleled Cori, and even more so, Gar, who we are now getting to. Cori took Rachel to a roller rink, where Rachel first bonded with Gar Logan in his human form. Dick found them there, and then they brought Rachel to the convent to see if the nuns knew more about Rachel. The nuns tried to imprison Rachel, but she freaked out and blew herself free. Her new friend Gar found her outside and brought her back to his house, where she met the rest of the Doom Patrol. Dr. Niles Calder tried to experiment on her. Gar tried to stop him, but Gar was sedated. But then Dick and Cori found them. Rachel was about to unleash destruction, but Dick was able to pull her back in, and when they left, Gar joined them. Although Dick and Rachel both had attachment issues, it was clear to Cori that they were now a team. And here's another interesting parallel. Because of her memory issues, Cori still didn't know who she was, whereas Dick had his walls up. So Dick was afraid to let people know who he was. But the nuclear family was still a threat, so they went to a shed and showed each other what they could do. And the next time the nuclear family showed up, they defeated them. Dick then went to Dr. Adamson's and would have been taken hostage, but New Robin saved his life. New Robin, or Jason Todd, told Dick that Batman had put trackers in their arms, so Dick cut that out. And Dick warned Jason a few times that he was going down a dark path, and that all Batman cares about is himself. Still, they fought together, but in the end, Dick and Jason had a falling out before parting ways. Meanwhile, Dr. Adamson killed himself, knowing that Rachel would heal him. That was a pretty awesome power. Little did she know, she had already healed the deer earlier in the season. Dick and Cori then got Dr. Adamson to give them info. He told them that Rachel's biological mother, Angela Azarath, was still alive, and she was at the Agnus Asylum. While Dick and Cori did reconnaissance, Rachel and Gar snuck off to the asylum. So Dick and Cori followed, but they were all captured. Dr. Adamson put Dick on hallucinogens that caused him to see the deepest, darkest parts of himself. Meanwhile, Rachel decided to unheal Dr. Adamson, and then went and found her mother who, unfortunately, was secretly working for her father Trigon. Gar killed someone in his tiger form, which was something that he had feared doing. Rachel and Gar then found Dick all messed up from the drugs. Rachel was able to bring him back by reminding him that he had promised that he would never leave her. Pretty cool. They then saved Cori, and on their way out, Dick had reached his breaking point. So he embraced his dark side and went to town on the guards. Not a good sign. And Cori blew up the entire asylum as they left. Since being Robin didn't work for Dick, but not being Robin didn't work either, Dick had to figure out who he was going to be. So he left the team and met up with his friend, Wonder Woman's sidekick, Donna Troy, aka Wonder Girl, who advised Dick to fill the hole inside him with love and family, as opposed to rage and violence. Meanwhile, the rest of the team went to Angela's place in Ohio, and Rachel used her power to heal Corey's mind. So Corey remembered that her mission was to kill Rachel, and she tried to do just so. But Dick and Wonder Girl showed up in the nick of time and saved Rachel. Corey left to go gather her thoughts, and Dick and Donna followed, leading them to the warehouse where Corey found her spaceship. Inside the ship, she remembered the truth, that Rachel was the doorway by which Trigon would enter Earth. Earth would be the first world he would cover in his darkness, but eventually, all worlds, including Corey's world, would burn. Back at Angela's house, Trigon began sending Gar hallucinations. Gar's inner demons began to eat at him. He fell sick and began to die. Angela convinced Rachel to let her father through so that he could heal Gar. And she did. And he did. But Trigon is not a nice guy. Trigon was there to destroy. And healing Gar was just part of his larger plan, which involves breaking Rachel's heart. Dick was also part of the plan. So Trigon let Dick through the protective barrier, but kept out Corey and Wonder Girl. Trigon then sent Dick into a hallucination, wherein Batman killed the Joker and then Corey. And because of that, Dick broke. Dick embraced his dark side, and that opened him up to Trigon's influence. Trigon took over him. Earlier, Rachel had reached out to Hank and Dawn through their dreams, so Dawn awoke from her coma. Rachel had told Dawn to get Jason Todd. That is how Titans Season 1 ended, with one exception, or rather, two. The post-credit clip showed Subject 13, or Connor, breaking free and freeing Crypto in turn. Fun season. Alright, I'll be back to chat after I watch Titans Season 2.